And my guest today is Tim Kravchunovsky. Now, Tim is the founder and CEO of the DePIN network Chirp. Fascinating. You can kind of understand it as like using DePIN for global IoT and mobile. Of course, if you don't know what DePIN is, I'm sure we'll discuss that during today's show. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Andy. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here, Tim. Let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. It'd be great if you could please introduce yourself. Love to hear a little bit about your personal and professional backstory, what you've been doing in the lead up to founding Chirp.
Sure. My name is Tim. I'm founder and CEO of Chirp. I'm a network engineer, worked in this field pretty much my entire life. Graduated from University of Maryland some 25 years ago. So I graduated in network engineering and computer science, and have been in this field all my life. So started off while in university as a help desk engineer, and then kind of like worked my way up. When I graduated, already started working as a network engineer, and then moved into management roles, managing IT projects in general. So yeah, that's kind of like in short
Yeah.
about me. Yeah, it's boring.
No, it's not boring at all, and I guess the purpose of that, of course, is to illustrate that you have deep experience in this field, so it makes sense that you would end up founding something like Chirp. So I guess just to put it in a bit of context, well, let's just explain at a kind of high level what Chirp is, Tim, and then we can talk about how it works and why DePIN matters and all that kind of stuff. But let's start with maybe just what Chirp is, and then we'll have a bit of an origin story of Chirp.
Sure. So Chirp is really a project that aims to connect the largest amount of different devices with the blockchain and in one ecosystem. So the major problem that we're facing right now, so IoT is really supposed to be helping us with our daily lives, whatever we do. If we're managing our home, if we want to automate our house, or if we are running a business, it is supposed to make our lives easier. But the fact is, IoT is very, very difficult to deploy, and it has been difficult to date. And that's why, like when I ask somebody when I say IoT, what exactly do you think of? And most people unfortunately reply, like, oh, smart dishwasher or smart refrigerator. Those are the last things where I would see IoT be implemented. So IoT is like really all around us, and it's helping us in our daily lives already, but not in residential market, because it's very difficult to deploy. And this is exactly what Chirp is trying to fix. We're trying to unite all of the IoT under one roof before this industry scales to enormous sizes, where we will be able to connect smart cities, where we will be able to connect autonomous cars. And those fields, they're just starting right now. We really need to fix the industry and to make it easy for everybody to deploy IoT. It's essentially right now, there was a study that if you want to implement an IoT solution, you have to attract up to 18 different vendors to implement a single IoT solution. So that's how difficult it is, and this is what Chirp is aiming to fix.
Yeah, so we'll just dig into that a little bit, Tim, then. So, are you talking about regulations, and like where is that? Are you talking about a specific country there? And I guess I'm sure there are problems all around the world. But yeah, just to explain again, I guess the problem with the industry at the moment, and yeah, how Chirp is the solution.
So essentially, this is how Chirp started. Um, I had power outage at my house, and outside it was it was minus 30 degrees. So during that power outage, the entire radiators and everything froze. So I'm not sure how cold it gets in New Zealand, but you probably have a different heating system. So the heating system in my house, it's radiators, and there's water flowing through the radiators, and it heats the house. So when there's a power outage, the pump that pumps all of that water through the radiators, it stopped working, and essentially house cooled down very quickly, and all of the pipes bursted. So I had to remodel the entire house. And after remodeling, I ran into this situation. I was like, well, how do I prevent this from happening in the future? And I started buying different sensors, a temperature sensor, and like I had to install another sensor in the garage, in the shed, and I found it very difficult. So I have IT experience, so I was actually able to deploy the solution, but for a regular homeowner, it was very difficult. And what was even worse is how fractioned the space is. Essentially, every single manufacturer manufactures the device, and they have a proprietary app. So you have one device with one app. Then that manufacturer doesn't have another device that you need, so you go to another manufacturer, and the story repeats. So you kind of like are surrounded by multiple proprietary apps from different manufacturers that are not compatible with each other. So devices cannot talk to each other, and essentially you have to go to a different app to check every single device. But that's only on the residential scale, and like when we talk about the commercial scale, the thing repeats. But in there, you have multiple different protocols that are not used in residential use cases, because you're already talking, like long range connectivity solutions from the devices. So you're talking cellular connectivity, LoRaWAN connectivity, and things like that. So, and exactly the same situation is in commercial. So it's an extremely fractioned space.
Yeah,
So I hope that gives you a
yeah.
little bit better understanding.
I think I begin to understand, Tim. So, the idea eventually would be that we have one seamless network and platform that means that everyone can kind of talk to each other on the same network, and it's a little bit more simple to deploy solutions because there's one kind of standard rather than just this confused hodgepodge of yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like the idea is for you to go to the internet, buy any type of device, connect your cell phone or connect an IoT device, any wireless device, so that you don't have to think about how to connect it. You just buy a device, you connect it to one network and one platform, and a device from another manufacturer would see your other devices and could talk to them. So that's the entire idea. So that's what we're trying to do.
Nice. And so, in terms of Chirp, I imagine you have some co-founders, and so you've obviously got the perfect background for something like Chirp, as a network engineer. But I'm sure you've brought together a talented team from different backgrounds as well, because it's quite a challenge, this kind of project. I would say, Tim.
Yeah. As far as the founding team, I'm the only founder, but we do have a very strong team. I have assembled a team. It's guys that I previously worked with, and they're friends, and somebody that they could recommend. So, but essentially, we have one of the strongest teams in Web3. We have 6 PhDs in telecommunications and computer science. We have a consultant who is working for European Space Agency for a long time. So he's retired now, but he's still on board of directors there. So yeah, team is incredibly strong and talented, and all of the guys, they have experience over 20 years in the field. So
fantastic. So it'd be useful to understand, where on the kind of I guess the product journey that you are. And I guess one way of understanding this is, I believe you're just about to launch a testnet for Chirp. So maybe just talk to us about where that is at and what you hope to achieve with the testnet, what the kind of the goals are, and where the kind of the mainnet launch. I'm sure it's in the future at some point, but yeah, what timelines are we sort of talking here?
Sure. Yeah, so what I did not say is that we're building a DePIN project, or decentralized physical infrastructure, or also called DY, decentralized wireless. So essentially, it's ingenious innovation, this DePIN. If you think about regular telecom companies, you probably do not see regular telecom companies working in multiple countries. They are confined in only one country. And when you start thinking about this, there's a logical explanation to this. So if you need to deploy a cell tower, for example, somewhere in your country, what do you have to do for that? You have to buy or lease land. You have to pull the infrastructure. You have to pull electricity. You have to pull internet in there. You have to install a cell tower. You have to fence the property. You have to alarm the property. So just installing one cell tower requires multiple months or maybe even a year. And then you install the antennas in there. So you have to have, your company has to have multiple crews that would be able to install and maintain those antennas. And that becomes very pricey and very slow to deploy. And that's why you don't see those centralized telecom companies operating in multiple countries. With DePIN, we're giving power to the people. So people are the ones running the network. So instead of us physically buying the land and installing all of that equipment, you, Andy, can buy the antenna and you can mount it on your house, and you're providing coverage to our wireless network. You already have electricity, you already have internet, and for providing that coverage, you get rewarded with a Chirp token. And this is exactly what we're doing with our testnet. So with our testnet, we already have, by the way, our radio access network is already deployed in 30 countries. And that is unheard of in regular centralized telecom. I mean, it would have taken, I don't know, centuries probably to deploy something like that. And that's the power of DePIN. You can deploy this infrastructure extremely quickly when you're giving people the power. And essentially, you are becoming part of the telecom industry. And telecom industry is huge. It's a trillion-dollar industry. So yes, you're absolutely right. We're going to be launching our testnet on SUI network, or SUI. It's pronounced SUI, written SUI. So we're going to be launching testnet on the 15th in 4 days. And the primary purpose of this testnet is to test how everything works, how rewarding structure works, how the smart contracts work, and how the rewarding mechanism works for our keepers. So keepers are the people that buy the antennas and run the network. So.
Yeah, you can think of keepers like miners as or node operators. Yeah. It's fascinating, Tim. And, I guess in some ways, this is good timing because, as you'll be very aware, the DePIN narrative is fast emerging as one of the stronger narratives in, I suppose, the broader crypto or blockchain markets and industry. Crypto loves the narrative, and it's every cycle you need one or two 3, 4 new narratives for people to hook into, and DePIN is one of those narratives. I hadn't even heard of the phrase DePIN until I think last year, and I did a couple of shows with people. But yeah, it is very much a new and emerging narrative. Just talk about that in terms of, do you get the sense that there's a sort of sector wide bubbling interest in DePIN projects?
What's nice about DePIN is that this industry has real world utility and real world use cases. So we have meme coins that are pumping right now, but meme coins, they're here today and they will not be here tomorrow. So that's essentially how it works. It's not a long-term investment. So you're absolutely right. DePIN is very hot right now. It's one of the hottest directions in crypto. But we're not really riding this wave right now. We have been building our project for over 2 years. We started in 21, and we have been building our project in stealth mode. And essentially, we're launching our network, which is fully functional right now. So you can already start connecting devices. Yeah, we already support close to 2,000 different devices. So it's also interesting for people that are not into crypto because you could already use the network that could generate the revenue. So for somebody who is looking for a real opportunity in crypto that has real world value, DePIN is absolutely invaluable. So there's many DePIN projects. So we're in the industry of DY, decentralized wireless, where people install the antennas to run the network. But DePIN, it could be anything. There's projects that are running car trackers. There's projects that where you can share your hard drive for storage, and that's all DePIN. So it's essentially if you have a physical hardware that you could decentralize, that's what DePIN is.
Yeah,
so.
And look, for anyone listening to this that is, perhaps a crypto native and they like the sound of Chirp, and they might be open to airdrop opportunities. I was just looking through the Chirp Twitter, and I see there's a airdrop campaign that I think ends in about 24 hours time. But I'm going to publish this podcast very soon, Tim. Actually, after we finish talking, I'll edit it and get it out. So I'll get it out today. So just for people that are listening to this and they want to have a look in that, do you want to just quickly explain what that is?
Yes, you still have a chance to participate in this airdrop. It was extended until the 13th. So people actually have 2 more days to participate in this airdrop. But the best way would be to go to our Twitter page at ChirpDY, and in there you will see all of the information about the airdrop, how you can participate in this airdrop. If you are watching this show after the 13th, we're launching our testnet, and on our testnet, we're going to be running different types of campaigns where we're going to be running different early adopter NFT campaigns, and you will be able to dive in and participate in our testnet hands-on. And it doesn't matter where you are in this world, so any country could participate. So there's plenty of opportunities ahead, and this is perfect timing because we're just launching the the testnet and mainnet is going to be, so we're aiming after the Bitcoin halving, but we don't have a set date just yet.
And for people who do want to look at becoming a keeper, or really get involved, what's the best way for them to do so? What should they do?
So right now we don't have any miner sales open. We held our first miner sale last year. It was a test batch, and those miners, they flew off the shelves like cookies. We sold out literally in a couple of hours. The next sale is going to be announced fairly soon. So the best way would be to go to our website, chirptoken.io, and in there you can click on Become a Keeper. You would be enrolled in this early adopter wait list, and you will get all of the notifications. Just when you do enroll, make sure to go to your inbox and make sure to hit that email so it doesn't go into spam. And that way you're not going to miss any information. And obviously our official Twitter, that's the best way to follow all of the news on NFTs.
Of course. Just as we start to finish off this part of the podcast, Tim, just again, love to just any others kind of wider, deeper thoughts you have around the potential of DePIN projects such as Chirp and others. What's needed for them to kind of take the next step? Because I get that, it's about, scaling infrastructure through the power of users that are all around the world, decentralization. But it's, that sounds amazing in theory, but it's, I guess, another thing just to get all those different people on the network and make sure the right incentives are in place. I'm sure that's exactly what you're doing. But how do you see this kind of playing out? Paint the picture of how this plays out over the next 5 years, 10 years time. What does that sort of network effect look like as these projects start to come to life and change the world?
Yeah, sure. So it's not an easy task to explain something that has not been rolled out before. Essentially, most of us don't have IoT solutions implemented in our houses. With commercial, it's a little bit easier because there's IT departments that are constantly rolling it out. So businesses are familiar with what we're doing and what we're trying to solve. But residential, it's a little bit difficult. And how do you increase this adoption? So it's essentially what we're doing is when you want to participate in our network and you buy a miner, we found that there's a lot of DePIN projects out there where people that are running the network, they do not fully understand what they're doing, and they're in it just to earn some tokens. We think that's a major problem in DePIN, and we're actually solving this problem. Together with a miner, you will receive one device. That device will be included that you can actually join to the network and you can see how it works. And then obviously, like every time we integrate a different device, we will be adding it to the network. So I can't get into too much detail about the NFT campaign, but there's also a couple of devices that people will be able to add to our network so they could test it out and like get hands-on feeling of how our network functions, and those devices, they're going to be incentivized, so they're also going to be getting some tokens. But this is the best way for people to understand exactly what we're doing and to see value in this. And like once you start seeing value, we already have those keepers that were part of the first batch of miners that we sold. They're already writing in our group, and they're like, "Oh, I spoke to my dad, and he has this real world problem. He wants to fix it. He wants to get a couple of devices. Is this possible on Chirp?" And they're already thinking about, like how you could be using the network. So the potential is huge. The potential is there, and we're going to be educating the community that also runs the network on how to use our ecosystem. But besides that, we actually built two SaaS platforms where you could use the network. So one is the IoT platform where you could control all of the devices. So, for example, you can see those lights behind me, and these lights, they're connected to a device that is connected to our outdoor network. And I can click on this device, and it turns the lights off. So this is the platform that we built where you can control different types of devices, where you can easily automate your house, so on and so forth. And then the second platform that we built is actually a fleet management platform. It hasn't been announced officially yet, but the fleet management platform, if you have a business, you can already, keep track of your fleet, and you can manage that. And that's a huge business because there's a need for something like that in every single business. It doesn't matter how small or large it is. So the potential is there. And then obviously, like we're opening up our platform for different developers to build on. The possibilities are endless. So you can build any type of application, be it decentralized scooters, decentralized ride sharing, farming applications, or nursing applications, whatever you're into, where you need real wireless connectivity, you could build it on top of Chirp. So it's very exciting.
Yes, indeed. And if you can hear that kind of old dial up sound effect in the background, that's coming from the Chirp website, which I've got open in front of me. And just so listeners, of course, the link is in the show notes, but if you want to go to the website, it's actually a really cool website. I can turn the sound off. Actually, there you go, it's off. But go to chirptoken.io is the website. All right, well, thank you, Tim. I reckon what we do now is we go to a very quick break, and then we come back, we'll finish off, we'll have some fun, we'll run you through the very famous Crypto Conversation hot take round. Back in 1 second.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
And boom, we are back. And I'm with Tim Kravchunovsky. Tim, of course, is the founder and CEO of decentralized physical infrastructure network, DePIN. It's called Chirp. Chirp Token. .io is the website. Tim, I like to finish each podcast with a quick round of rapid fire crypto conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Sure. Let's try it.
All right. I'm just going to run some questions at you, Tim. Just want me to give me your kind of honest answers, hot take style. No right or wrong way to do it. Just a bit of fun. Question one for you is, where would you say, Tim, that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
I love Bitcoin. I love how it could really change the world, and I see a real world opportunity. And unfortunately, a lot of people still do not see the value of crypto. But I think we should have a different approach to this. Like we're explaining crypto to people, and we have been explaining it for many years, for about a decade already, and they still don't understand. And like I'm thinking that crypto is going to be the backbone of what we're building, and we probably shouldn't be explaining. We probably shouldn't be explaining it to everybody. So that's what I mean. But Bitcoin is the future, most definitely. So.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, well, what would you say, Tim, is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
I'm sorry?
What crypto opinion do you have that you have the strongest conviction in?
Uh, Crypto has a lot of possibilities. It gives power to the people. And through crypto, we can really change the world. And we can give that power. Oh, I'm sorry. This is this is horrible. We should probably redo this.
That's
Do
all
you
right.
mind if we redo this?
No, no. Well, I'll go to the next one because this. Let's bring it back to DePIN and IoT, Tim. So Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years, right, and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. You'll be familiar with that concept. So speculate away. 10 years time. What does IoT, DePIN, Chirp network? What does it all start to look like?
In 10 years from now, I think we're going to be flipping our entire telecom model on its head. It's essentially DePIN is giving telecom this opportunity to build something that was not possible before. And this is what we touched on in the first half of the show, where I said that most of the telecom companies, they do not expand further than only one country. And with DePIN, this gives us the possibility to introduce more of the protocols and unite everything under one roof. DePIN has a very, very big future where it will be run by the people. And I think it will take the entire telecom industry to a whole new level where we will be able to do things that we were not able to do before.
Yeah,
So,
very well said, Tim. Okay, another way of thinking about this is a quote by sci-fi author William Gibson, who famously said that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. Can you think of an example of the future being here right now, Tim, but most people aren't aware of it?
oh well, it's the crypto industry. If you talk about crypto, we're still on very early adoption stages, and you still have to explain to most people what it is. It is the future, but most of the people are not aware of it, and they don't understand what it is and how it functions. So
Yeah.
it's our entire industry.
Absolutely. Could not agree more, Tim. All right. And it brings us nicely to our final question, which is what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
Oh, that's gonna be difficult. Yeah. I don't think I can name anything on top of my head that quickly.
The, the
Hold on. There was a movie I watched not that long ago. Lucy, I think, was the name of it.
Lucy. Yeah, that sounds right.
So let me see. I think that was the name of it.
Yeah, it's from Lucy 2014 science fiction film directed by Luc Besson, starring Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman.
Exactly.
And
That was a pretty good movie that I watched recently.
yeah,
Yeah, but with sci-fi and with all of the movies, unfortunately, I have very bad memory. I watch them and then like it. Yeah,
have you seen either of the new June films?
no. I actually watch very little TV.
Yeah,
Right now, I'm all heads into head and toes in the project. So very little time, and especially we're at pre-launch right now. So
I understand. Tim, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us. Just to take us out again, tell people where they can find you on Twitter or X, where they can find Chirp on X, and of course, yeah, shout out the Chirp website, and maybe I can put those sound effects back on just to finish off. Take it away, Tim.
yeah, sure. So like you said, Andy, so all of your viewers, they're early. So we're just launching testnet this week, and we're going to be launching Mainnet sometime in Q3 of this year. So you're right on time. The best way would be to follow us on Twitter. That's Chirp, DYDEWI. And through our website, chirptoken.io. So we're going to have plenty of opportunities, plenty of early supporter NFTs and specials. So all of the viewers are right on time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim. All the best, and bye for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, there you go. That was Tim from Chirp Token. Still got the chirptoken.io website in the background there. You can hear the wonderful sound of dial-up. Listeners, were you alive? Were you around for the rise of the internet? The joy that was connecting to a dial-up token? I was there. I was there in the internet trenches, those early online forums. Can remember trying to download, the early days of I guess file sharing, LimeWire, stuff like that. And yeah, you take half an hour just for a few music MP3s, and then let alone video files and stuff like that. What a world. And then here we are, 10, 20 years later, and everyone has fast internet. And now kind of looking forward, DePIN, the rise of DePIN, decentralized Internet of Things, the future literally being built around us, thanks to the wonderful world of crypto. What a time to be alive. All right. Well, thanks to Tim. Links are in the show notes to Chirp Token. Yeah, we reach the end of another show. And did you see earlier this morning, Bitcoin, new all-time high? Yeah, 71,000, 72,000 as we speak. Fantastic to see. What a time to be alive. All right. Thank you for listening, folks. Don't forget to subscribe. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave New Coin. Bye for now.